So I've been asked by several of the people viewing my videos, which is probably 2 people, to talk while I'm doing this. So I'm going to do that, try to. So this is the part 2 to the Georgetown Hammerstone biface. Now I'm going to try to start evening it out. I had a bunch of problems with it on the last video. This stuff right here gets kind of tough, and there's a couple quartz pockets that give me a big problem. I use mainly hammerstones, and whenever you run into problems with hammerstones and you don't take care of it, you'll tend to narrow the piece up pretty quick. So let's see what we can't finish today. Choosing the right hammerstone is key to this. Has to be the right density, the right grit, where you just kind of spin your gears and lose the width. I'm still kind of taking opportunity flakes. If I see an area that's thicker than another area and there's somewhat of a ridge or a platform, I'll take that flake. I try not to prepare a bunch in like a series or anything when I'm just bifacing. You see me a lot rubbing the edge on this, and a lot of people that use hammerstones will do that. You're kind of feeling the edge, and it's something you can't really explain to somebody that hasn't done it, but you kind of feel the edge, kind of feel how it reacts to the hammerstone. It'll feel a certain way when it's ready, when it's going to support the strike. That's kind of what I'm doing. Sometimes when I do that, I'm actually preparing an edge on my hammerstone to meet it, to meet the platform I have. Scraping into the bunch will remove sand and create a little facet to catch. You can get quite fast doing that if you want. Just trying to turn the edge enough to send the flake into this mass. So I'm just shearing this to thicken it up. I'm tilting it down, the edge down, and when you do that, you shear it. It steepens the platform, so you don't have to have a super thick platform because it's strong because of the angle of it. see me laterally abrading, it's not really to strengthen it, because I don't think it really does. Usually I scrunch it to get the platform strong enough for a strike. The lateral abrasion is actually, it kind of highlights the platform a little bit. On the edge you can kind of see what you got working on here. So we see we got this kind of a hill here from missing striking here, stepped out, didn't get it all the way across this side. So I've been kind of trying to come through the base to get it. You know, I'm not wanting to smack it real hard and send a fluting flake all the way up. I'm trying to blend it in and kind of blend this hill out. A lot of hammerstone work is just getting the edges and the contours right. Not just smacking huge flakes off of it. So I cleaned up quite a bit of that. Still a little bit there, but not like it was. See if I can go right beside it, because now it's kind of, the platform's kind of isolated. So I'm scrunching with this piece of sandstone to shape the platform better. Kind of make it stick out from the edge. And then to kind of undercut it a little bit to get it to release. So that blended in pretty decent. I'm going to do a series of like edge turning flakes. I'm going to strengthen the edge. It's almost even like pressure flaking with a hammerstone. Turns the edge real clean. Space is being a little thick right now. Had a bunch of problems in it. You can see this light spot. It was real quartzy and kind of chalky. Had problems with it on the last video. This whole side has these little pockets of it. I should have been smart and flattened this side first. I mean, I didn't know this was going to be bad, but now I'm eating up a lot of the edge to get under this when I could have just done that in the first place. Missed that. Don't hit it again if you miss it. Make sure it's strong enough. Which that wasn't. Sometimes I've found with these Hammerstones, if you're just a little too dense, a little too hard, when you strike in on it with the edge of the Hammerstone, it'll crush the edge. When you have light platform, if you kind of clip it, it initiates a different type of flake, and you're more likely to get it to succeed. So if it doesn't feel right when I test it, or if it failed before, I'm not trying to get huge flakes out of this. I'm trying to get them to go midway or past and eliminate the problems that I have. Wish that helped. I'm probably just going to work on this a little bit longer. Just practicing bifacing, working through problems. There we go. This Hammerstone's got the right grit, it's got the right density, it's just a little too big right now. I'm kind of running out of Hammerstones that are good quality. They're either way too soft or way too hard. I do mostly Hammerstone work. I just like the way it works. But I do sometimes finish them out with antler or indirect, antler percussion or indirect. Just depends on what I'm making. I don't get too ate up with how thin it gets or anything like that. But you can get them pretty thin with the Hammerstone if you have the right Hammerstones and you get patient. So kind of rough turn that edge. And I can work it like it is, but you need to be careful. There's any little bumps on the edge, you want to shear them off or just smack them off, because it'll make your flake initiation horrible. It can break the piece. I mean, you can't do a predictable flake that way. So if you get those little bumps, you'll know what I mean whenever you get them on there. Just shear them off. That kind of isolated. Here and here. So I'm going to try to strengthen those little spots up and get rid of the mass that's right behind it. Missed it. Struck it too low on the edge. Probably gonna have to finish this one with antler. I probably should have switched to that a while back because I had so many problems with it. That's one thing I will say. I do like Hammerstones, but if you get behind on them, just switch to antler. So I've been on a Clovis kick lately, so I'll probably finish this with antler. And finish that out like that. It's got a good ridge right here. It's kind of choppy through here, but let's just see. Steeping that up. So I don't have anything fancy for indirect. Got a elk billet. And then a moose tine that I just drilled a hole in to fit a dowel. What I'm going to do is kind of wrap this in this leather. Just so I can hold it. tricky part. I don't like to have a real heavy billet. I like to have a fast billet. I'll probably set it up and go again right here, and then do the other side. I'm gonna have to probably pressure plate some convexity or some short flakes to go in there, but that will probably, if I pried it off, it'd probably come another 1/4 inch or more. Let's just see. I used to flute pretty early or pretty late on when the point was almost finished, and I had a lot of failures. Probably because I don't know what I'm doing really, but when I leave it thick, I have a lot less failure, and I just pressure flake it to the thickness that I'm wanting. I'm not needing a huge one here, I just kind of want to. Sometimes if I do this, it's a little better. It's kind of weird and awkward, but well, I think that's all I'm going to do on this video. That's my timer. I got carried away last night trying to get this kind of preformed, but I might work it a little bit more and show it after I'm finished.